So I guess first off the bat, Keith Faber is very positive about the idea of moving forward on a federal balanced budget amendment. I'm very hopeful that through the hearing process, through testimony, and the ability to get this done, and the fact that there are other Republican governors, as we'll look through the state lineup to see what we can do, and who I can talk to among Democratic governors, it's time to act. It doesn't make any sense to continue along the path. We're going to have to put some rules in place that will stiffen the spine. And look, I was there in Washington. I see what's happening now. I know what's happened in the state of Ohio, and I think this is a critically important issue for our country, for our children. And I'm excited about working on this and getting this accomplished.
Wouldn't it have to be identical to what other states have already passed?
You know, all the technicals I think the lawyers can work out. My understanding is when they got close to 34 the last time, people started freaking out and legislators started repealing this. But it's a different point in time now with the kind of debt we have and the dysfunction that we see out of Washington. And I would hope this would be one issue that everybody could revolve around in terms of the time at which you have to get it done. I mean, obviously it can't be done overnight, but it can be done in stages. And once you make a commitment to it, then I think you have to hold yourself to it. And so that's kind of how I feel about it.
What's the national debt at now, and what makes you
want to do this now? Well, first of all, I've been thinking about it for a while. But we had a budget to get through, and people on my staff said, hey, why don't we do this at the appropriate time? And just the other day, I read an op-ed piece by, I think, one Republican and one Democrat. It just sort of awakened me again. Let's get back on this, and everybody, was in agreement that we should move forward. So, look, we have a car careening down a hill that is out of control, and at some point somebody's got to say stop. And I think Ohio's in a position to be able to. I'm hoping to be able to reignite great interest in the issue.
How do you get Ohio to do that?
Oh, we're going to pass it. I have no doubt that the Ohio Senate and the Ohio House will pass this. We'll leave it up to the leaders to select who they want to have carry this. I'd be delighted if it's Senator Faber, but as the President of the Senate now, he may want to share this with somebody else. But I think it's an issue that can be bipartisan and an issue that can unite people rather than to divide them.
What happens if this doesn't go? What happens to the country when this doesn't happen?
Well, look, we keep, what I worry about, at some point we'll have to deal with it. And what I fear is that it's going to take a crisis. And when you have a crisis that forces you to do something, you have what's called collateral damage. And unfortunately, it's usually the people that don't have a lot of power that get hurt by collateral damage. And I don't want to see that happen. There is an orderly way to get this done. Look, I spent 10 years of my life building a team of people, and as that team we worked and we actually did balance the budget, and we actually had surpluses, and had we had a balanced budget amendment in place, they wouldn't have gone backward and thrown money at everything and got us back in the ditch again. So it's critical we get this done.
However, did you have any